There we go. That might fix that problem then. So here we are. Now we're ready. So we were just talking to our friends there on TikTok right before we went on air with you guys. And hopefully you're having a good day wherever you are in this beautiful, beautiful world. And happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you. There's a lot to cover, tonight. Tonight's just more of a chill out night. It's not really a scheduled show. We used to do the open mic night where it was actually scheduled, but things have changed. Things have changed. And so nonetheless, we'll see how things go. I don't know what we're going to do with this. We'll figure it out. But anyway, let me give you a little bit of the business parts of everything, and then we'll kind of go from there. How's that? So I'm Bishop James Long. If you want to go to my website, it's very, very simple. Just simply go to bishopjameslong.com. There it is, Bishop James Long. No, probably not on that. So bishopjameslong.com. That is my website. If you're really bored and have nothing else better to do and you want to read something that'll put you to sleep, well, then go to my website, bishopjameslong.com. I tell you what, it's just a fun-filled, exciting website. Nonetheless, if you want to go to the church's website, it's easy to, usocc.org. So there you are, USOCC. Oh, that's very nice. That's a very sweet thing. So Mike says, this man is spreading the word in such a more relatable way than any other clergy member I've seen. Well, Mike, that's very kind of you, and I really appreciate that. It's very, very nice of you. Thank you. Very kind. So usocc.org is the church's website. So that's more important. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Mass. And Mass will only be on TikTok, okay? It's just too complicated to try to run it in all those, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. It's just, so it's simply going to be on TikTok at 6 p.m. Thank you. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Mass. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have Bible study. Okay, so if you want to head over tomorrow and, maybe you don't have a church community and you're looking for one, well, then we would love to help you out. So usocc.org. So tomorrow, 6 p.m. is Mass, only on TikTok. And then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, well, thank you, Marty. 8 p.m. Eastern is when we're going to have a fun-filled, exciting Bible study. And Judy Ann will be with me. Now, let me just, before we get into some questions, hang tight, everybody. Just hang tight. So I went to visit Miss Wilma. For those of you who are new, Miss Wilma is a friend of mine. I've known her for about 25 years now. And I really consider her part of my family. And so she's had a lot of health issues lately. And she used to teach our kids Bible study on Sunday nights. And she used to be with us here on Saturday nights. She would tell jokes and I would make fun of her and Judy Ann would join us. And anyway, things have changed. Things have changed. And Miss Wilma is, as you know, she is in the rehab. She was in the hospital for about 4 weeks. She did also about a month ago, a month and a half, maybe she did have a stroke. It wasn't a major stroke, but it was a stroke. And so right now she's in rehab. I just look, here's the deal. I don't anticipate Miss Wilma joining us. I just don't. I saw her today. I did go visit her. By the way, I did take your cards to her, your gifts to her. It really touched her heart. I will tell you that. It really, really touched her heart. She has a little bit of hard time seeing. And so I read, the cards to her. And so she appreciates that. So I left those with her. And, of course, I had to read them out. And so we again, that's very nice of you guys to do that. So anyway, guys, just hold on for a second. Can I please finish? Just relax. Just relax. I'm talking about a dear friend of ours that had a stroke. She's 70 years old. So just relax with the questions. I'll get to your questions in a moment. Just chill. Anyway, so please continue to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She is under some deep depression because, she's concerned about being able even to walk again. So anyway, just keep her in your thoughts and prayers. So do I think that she'll be back? No. I don't think she'll be back here on air. I just simply don't. It's possible maybe down the road, because she can always just call in. That's what she always does anyway. But it's going to be a while. Okay, it's going to be a while. So anyway, there you go. That's the update on Miss Wilma. And she really, really appreciates all your prayers, all of your thoughts, your kind, your well wishes. And so anyway, that really that absolutely touched her heart. Truly, that touched her heart. Okay. So tonight, like I said, every day when we're on air, I always have something structured, always. That takes a lot. When you go live every single day, 7 days a week, and you have a structured program, that is a hell of a lot of work. I know people who are on TikTok who go live maybe once a week for a couple hours, and they think they've accomplished something special. Well, I go on we go on every single day, and every single day it is structured. That's a lot. That is a lot. So Saturday is a chill out day. But I still have quite a bit of articles that I did not get to, and we'll answer some questions, just have a conversation. That's it. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to chill today. I just want to chill. I am working on the homilies all for next week. So I do about 27 homilies a week because we have night prayer and then, of course, Bible studies. So that's what I'm working on now. All right. So there we go. That is the update on Miss Wilma. I do want to say this. For those of you who do not know, terrible situation happened. This is by Fox Weather. And this is by Scott Sistek. Monstrous tornado outbreak unalives dozens across Kentucky, Missouri, spawns devastating damage. So Governor Andy Beshear, he's the governor of Kentucky, said he was aware of 18 fatalities, while Kentucky Rep. Hal Rogers believes the number was closer to 24. So for those of you who don't know, a tornado outbreak swept across the Ohio Valley yesterday, leaving at least 24 dead and rescue crews frantically searching neighborhoods left in ruins for any other survivors. Officials in Kentucky are still surveying damage and provided varying estimates as the number of people impacted. Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky said he was aware of 18 fatalities, but Kentucky Rep. Hal Rogers believes the number was closer to 24. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office said a tornado touched down in London, Kentucky, not far from me, just before midnight, and tore through 2 neighborhoods and the London Corbin Airport area, causing mass casualties in its path. At least one of the fatalities was a longtime firefighter, according to Laurel County Fire Department. The 39-year-old firefighting veteran was reported to have been unalived while responding to the damage. It says, quote, as we continue search and rescue efforts in the affected areas, we ask that everyone stay clear to allow our teams to do the work safely and effectively. First responders stated. The view from London showed extensive damage, with multiple homes destroyed, vehicles barely recognizable, as debris littered the neighborhood. Lightning still flashed in the background. Quote, my daughter got scared, so we went to the hallway. A woman named Leslie, who survived the storm with her family, told emergency officials in the video. And as we were in there about 2 minutes, and then my husband came running in and pretty much jumped on top of her because you could feel the air sucking in, and it sounded like a train. And then we saw stuff falling. And the next thing you knew, most of the house was gone. London Mayor Randall Weddle posted several photos of an aerial tour of the damage given by Air Evac Life Team, which itself lost its hangar and one of its helicopters to its tornado. Photos show wide swaths of damaged buildings across the London Corbin Airport and its surrounding neighborhood. The tornado's size became even more evident. Wow, you mean Robert was actually muted? Robert, you should be ashamed of yourself. We're talking about people who lost their lives in an airport, and you took this opportunity in London, and you took this opportunity to troll. You should be ashamed. that really says something about you. That says something really low about you, buddy. Unbelievable. Anyway, for I was rudely interrupted by a demonically oppressed person. The tornado size became even more evident as it tore a path through wooded areas on the outskirts of town, leaving a stripe of bare, wind-blasted trees in its wake. So there was a state of emergency in Somerset. So rescue crews were also combing through tornado damage in Somerset, where at least one person passed away. Somerset Mayor Alan Keck declared a state of emergency in his city as damage is extensive. Loss of life occurred. You know, and by the way, tornadoes have left 5 people dead in around St. Louis. So the severe weather outbreak began earlier Friday in Missouri, and supercell thunderstorms spawned deadly tornadoes. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer said at least 5 storm-related fatalities have been confirmed in her city. This is terrible. And Indiana, tornadic thunderstorms also impact southern Indiana and Illinois, where several counties south of Interstate 70 were placed under tornado warnings. At least 75 homes suffered damage, as well as a 30-room motel, multi-unit duplex property on Clear Creek Post Office. This is quite frightening. You know, and I got to tell you something. Anybody who takes the time to troll when someone is reading that people lost their lives in a tornado, your soul is in incredible peril. Thank you. I mean, your soul is a level of disparity that I'll never understand. That says all we need to know about you. That is truly, that's a different level of low life. So, Myra, what? Because guys, why would you ask questions when I'm doing a presentation about people who just lost their lives yesterday? I mean, can we, as a society, can we not just have a little bit of compassion? For the love of God. I can't even read an article about people who lost their lives in a tornado yesterday without people demanding that I answer their question. I don't understand what this world is going. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay. All right, Myra, what's your question? Yeah, it's just it was frightening. Yesterday was scary. Matter of fact, we were on air yesterday, and you know, when they scream tornadoes, that's a frightening world. It really is, because you kind of so you should be praying and not recording TikTok. Well, you should actually join us for a Bible study on Sundays and Wednesdays. And you should also join us on Monday through Friday when we actually do pray, but instead you judge. So why don't you join us Sunday and Wednesday for Bible study for 2 hours and night prayer for about 45 minutes. Oh, that's right. You don't do that. You're just too busy judging. Got it. Okay. I understand. Okay. Well, as long as I know. Yeah. Whew. I'll tell you what. Okay, Myra, what was your question? I didn't see it. Yeah, well, do I ever teach how to understand the Bible? Kimberly, wow. Let me go it slower. I teach Bible study here. Been doing it for a long time. Every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have night prayer Monday through Friday, where we pray for each other every Monday through Friday. No, I won't judge, but that comment of Van Robin was very disrespectful. because it was very judgmental. You implied that I haven't been doing that. And I've been doing it for 25 years. You know, God. Anyway, so I didn't see your question. TikTok could be filtering it. Hey, Chance, why don't you come do this? Why don't you come do this, and you receive the type of hate that we receive on a daily basis, and then come talk to me. Okay. Let me also explain something. I don't receive a salary. For those of you who are trilling, I receive no salary as being a bishop. The church doesn't pay me one penny. Nothing. No stipend, no salary, no housing allowance, no car allowance, no retirement. I do this ministry 100% free. And I'm just seeing mute. Okay. Trolls, you've asked for it. There we go, trolls. Yeah, so dramatic, Mr. Moon. Yeah, we paid attention to you now, Mr. Moon. Is that what you needed? You needed people to pay attention to you? Oh. Yes. The trolls needed a little bit of attention. Yeah. So, did that make you feel better? All right. So let's get into your questions, and we'll have a conversation. I have some articles that I want to talk about, and go from there. And by the way, no, I don't want to block. See, let me explain something. You got to be careful with blocking. And the reason being because if you block too much, then what happens is TikTok will shadow ban you, and as a form of punishment, which is really ridiculous. So that's why, someone said, well, we should block. Well, we don't, unless they say something really just, and then we record it, and then I send it to the agency that I belong with. Right. So no, someone said we should just block. That's why I'm saying that. So that's anyway. Okay. Oh, you shouldn't have Myra. You shouldn't have a hard time with death at all. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to go to nderf.org. nderf.org. It's the world's largest website on people who have clinically died and have come back and have told what they experienced. I absolutely clinically died. I saw my mom, who had passed away a year before, and so nderf.org. Marty, there you go, Marty. Yep, there it is. Yeah, that's a great website, nderf.org. What made me I want to be a bishop? Actually, the church. The church called me to serve as a bishop, and I was consecrated by 5 bishops. And but I knew I wanted to be a priest when I was 5 years old. So I've always known that the priesthood was for me, and always. But you shouldn't fear. You should not fear death at all. How do you know if you have an attachment? Well, for example, let's say that you had a love for Christ. You have a love for God. Yep. Matter of fact, do I pray the rosary daily? Yes. As a matter of fact, I pray the rosary every single day when we have night prayer. And let's see. I'll show you my rosary that I actually pray all the time. It's right here. So we have night prayer Monday through Friday, and every time we pray for our prayer petitions, I pray the rosary. This is one of my personal rosaries here. Very devoted to the Blessed Mother. And yep, I pray it often. And again, every Monday through Friday, I pray the rosary during our prayer petitions. So, yeah. It is beautiful, Myra. Yeah, it is. So let me show you, because it's one of my favorite rosaries. I have quite a few of them, actually. Let me show you. I'll show you guys on Facebook, YouTube. Hold on one second. There you go. Sorry, just turn there. It is a beautiful rosary, isn't it? It's one of my favorite rosaries. Let me show you guys. There you go. Oh, well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Now, that's not the rosary that I use during an exorcism. I'll get to your questions, guys. I promise you. I'm doing the best I can. I just started presentation. So this is the rosary that I use during an exorcism. So that is the rosary I use during an exorcism, and this is a Benedictine rosary. I am a Benedictine, so it's I'm an Old Catholic Benedictine of Immaculate Mary, and that is the rosary that I use during an exorcism there for you guys. Yeah, you can send me a rosary, sure. I love rosaries. I also have a rosary that was blessed by Saint Pope John Paul. I got to be very careful with this, because it is old. I actually got this when I was a kid, I think about 8 or so. I was an altar boy, and the parish priest went to Rome for a sabbatical, and Saint John Paul was there, and he blessed each individual rosary. I mean, actually hand-held them, and then the priest came back and gave them to their altar servers. So this is pretty old. So I'm really careful with this one. But I'm careful with all of mine. So now someone sent me, okay, very quickly, let me say this before I get to questions, guys. Someone sent me a rosary. They sent me this one today. Okay. But it was through Amazon, and it's Jesse M. Jesse M, is that you? If you could just let me know, because it says here, please bless and send to, but there were 2 rosaries in here, so I have no idea what you're talking about. So I don't know. So I don't know if Jesse M is in here. Yeah, hold on, guys. Let me see if Jesse's in here, because I've got to figure this out. Please do not send me a rosary from Amazon, and then because I don't know what you want me to do with it. So always have the rosary sent to you, and then you can send me that rosary with a note saying, please, if you will, bless this, and just include a self-addressed stamp envelope, and I'll be happy to do that for you. But I don't know what this means. So it's just a small little note. So if you could just, Jesse M, I don't know if Jesse M is here, but I don't know what that means. Yeah, it went, because, well, I have a P.O. box. The ministry has a P.O. box, and I just don't know what it means. I don't know which one. So, okay. Yeah, Mark. Okay. Yeah, please just do me a favor. I'm getting rosaries sent to me from Amazon. I have no idea who they're from or anything, and it's getting really confusing. So please don't do that. Just have them sent to you, and then if you send them to me, just send me a message. Let me know something, because I'm really confused about what I'm supposed to do with this. All righty. So I don't know, because there's 2 of them. There's one, a rosary blessed by Pope Francis. I don't know. Okay, Johnny, whatever. Congratulations, you got your attention. Now go away and go get your pacifier, because you've obviously just wanted attention for everybody else. So just shoo, clown, shoo. Anyway, I mean, seriously, you just wanted attention, didn't you, Johnny? That's all it was. That's all it was. congratulations, you got your attention. I hope that makes you happy, and probably not, because you're probably like a pestilent child. Okay, anyway. Nonsense. Well, if you're an actual priest and don't understand, you need to get your stuff together. Okay, Gary, congratulations. You've got the attention you wanted to. I hope that makes you happy. I just want to make sure that adults acting like pestilent children. Goodness grief. Well, I don't get paid for this, S.D. Benson. Would you like to offer me a salary? I mean, I don't get paid a penny for this. So if you would like to offer me a salary, you're more than welcome to. All right. Anyway. Excuse me for a second. Hey, trolls. Oh, bye-bye. Oh, goodness. Oh, wait. Hold on, everybody. We got to, because this is open mic night. But hold on. The trolls are upset now. Oh, I just put subscriber chat on TikTok. I'm sorry. Oh, you're stomping your feet now. They just spit out the pacifier because now they can't chat. And now they're screaming and crying. It's okay. Go take a nap. Yeah. It's okay. There you go. Yeah, the trolls were getting a little out of hand on TikTok, so I had to put subscriber chat on, and then they'll send me hateful messages and pout and scream and stomp their feet because we're not paying attention to them anymore. Oh, goodness gracious. You poor little thing. Mulberry, thank you. You poor little thing. What are we going to do? We're sorry. We're sorry. If you need a pacifier, just let us know and we'll send you one. Okay? Yes. Yeah. All right. You are a subscriber. Well, thank you very much. See, that's how you handle trolls. When they get out of control, you have to put them in timeout. It's just like a child. Adults who obviously need attention because they're bored on a Saturday night. So they go troll on other people's lives because really they're miserable human beings and they just want attention. And then you give them the attention and then they're like, oh, great. Everybody's paying attention to me. Great. And then they continue to troll and spread nasty messages. And then you put subscriber chat on and then they stomp their feet and cry and pout like a 5-year-old child would when they want a candy bar in the store and you say no, and they scream and stomp their feet and they're yelling and acting a fool. Well, see, I never did that when I was a child because my mom would never allow that type of nonsense. So for us, we just put them in timeout. It's going to be okay. If you need a blankie, just ask an adult, go take a nap, and you'll feel better when you wake up. Okay? Sorry. Apologies. Anyway, boy, we've almost dropped 100 people since I put subscriber chat on. So now the trolls are not really happy at all. Okay. Yeah, you need a blankie. So that is how you deal with the trolls. Thank you very much. All right. School's in session. There we go. Much better. Much better. And I'm sure the moderators are like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Yeah, thank you very much, Lynn. The storms were pretty dangerous. So yeah. Yeah, Marty. If someone has an attachment. Yeah, I was answering that question, and then of course the trolls came in. Let's say, for example, you always had a very deep faith in God, and then all of a sudden now you want nothing to do with Scripture. You don't want nothing to do with the Bible. You don't want anything to do with Jesus. You want nothing to do. I think there's softball. And so what happens is you start isolating yourself and moving your way. You want nothing. And even sometimes it just irritates you. And it is a total change from where it was before. And you have demonic oppression when it begins to attack you physically, and obsession begins to attack you intellect. Wow, we had over 400 people. Now we're down to 293. So for those of you who are just tuning in, I put subscriber chat on because the trolls were getting really nasty and foul. And so I put subscriber chat on, and we're going to keep it on until, well, maybe for the rest of the night. Sorry, folks. I know some of you are not subscribers. I get it. I understand it. It's only $5.99 a month. I understand. But if that's my way that I'm going to keep the trolls out of here, then I will continue to do that, because TikTok won't fix the trolling problem. They just won't. And so therefore, we put subscriber chat. Well, thank you. So that we, the adults, can actually have an intellectual conversation without dealing with adults who act like pestilent, spoiled little children. So thank you, guys. Okay, so that's what it is. Well, thank you, Janelle. That's very nice. Janelle says if you need help, that's very nice. All right, thank you, Diane. So hopefully that answers the question. What I send you as a gift to you, P.O. Boxes, many good things will come to. Well, thank you there, Mark. Yeah, thank you very much. Just if you would just send me a note in there. That way I'll know what it is, Mark. Because it's getting a little confusing with people sending me things, and I don't know what to do with these. I don't know what to do with them. So, they'll have an archbishop. They'll replace that. Can dead people get attached to? There's a lot of people that say that they can. I don't necessarily. I'm not a big fan of that as far as that belief, because the whole purpose of attachment is to break down a person's intellect and will, so that could possibly lead to possession. Thank you, Donna. And that's the whole purpose. That's the whole point behind it. So I'm a little bit hesitant with stating as far as the attachment for a human spirit. Okay, your baby growing up. All right, so if you guys have other questions, we can get to them. I'm going to give a lot of articles, but now the subscribers are on. And so I can, thank you, Jack. So I can answer some questions from our subscribers and our friends on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you. Well, thank you, Nancy. Welcome, welcome. Of the RC Pope. Oh, well, thank you, Michelle. And thank you, Lynn. No. The Pope is the Bishop of Rome. And so, no. It would be just a bishop of Canterbury. Actually, that was gifted to me, Chris. A friend of mine gifted that rosary to me. It's a Benedictine rosary. So thank you, Starla. All right. Well, thank you, Day. Or D, sorry. Starla, thank you. Any other questions before we get to some articles? TV shows? No. I have no plan, Curtis, at this moment to be on any television shows. No one has called me, but at this point in time, I mean, right now, the Legion of Exorcists show is technically on hiatus. It's not been officially canceled, so we just simply don't know. Yeah, we just don't know. We'll see, you know. Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you there, Maggie. All right. I don't know if that doll was from Vietnam. The doll that I have, I'm not for sure. And I don't know. I could probably. I really don't like even taking the doll out very much at all. I don't even like handling the doll. It's just simply not something that I don't like it. Yeah, it's the Legion of Exorcists show. It's on HBO Max and Travel Channel. And yeah, so the Archbishop of Canterbury is the senior, the bishop, and really the principal leader of the Church of England. That's a part of the Anglican community. So, okay. You did on the Irish show, and I got a lot of. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, they had the Irish the folks there. Kathy, I mean, there is a book out there. It's well, because your words, you need it dumbed down. There is the Bible for Dummies, and so it's a relatively good book. I mean, it just kind of breaks it down. But I do encourage you to make sure. Oh, thank you there, Sheena. Thank you very much. I do encourage you to obviously show up at our Bible study on Sundays and Wednesdays, because we try to break it down as well and to explain that. Okay, guys, let me talk a little bit about a couple things that are really cool. Listen to this one. This is interesting. Yeah. All right. Hang on for questions just a second. This is by Ben Hooper. A Michigan man thought a lottery jackpot win was a prank. So a Detroit man said he initially thought he was just being pranked when he discovered that he had won a lottery prize of $25,000 a year for life. Yeah, I mean. Anyway, Mikhail Garland told Michigan lottery officials he bought his ticket for the April 28th lottery for life drawing online. Says, quote, "I've been playing Lucky for Life for a few years and I always buy my tickets online," Garland said. "I didn't even know you could do that." He said, "When I saw the email from the lottery about claiming a prize, I logged into my account and thought I was being pranked. When I saw my account balance, it wasn't until I called the lottery and confirmed the prize with them that I believed I'd really won. Still feels like I'm living in a dream." Garland said that some of his winnings will go toward taking a trip and the rest will go into savings. Can you imagine? I mean, that's pretty darn good. $25,000 a year for life. I mean, okay, yeah, it's, if 10 years, $250,000. But I mean, $25,000 a year. I mean, yeah, right. It's not. I'll take it. I wouldn't say no. I would say sure, no problem. Yeah. Let me take care of that for you. I don't know about this one, guys. I'm troubled by this. I was offered $15,000. I asked to buy you a car with it. Huh? I was offered $15,000. I asked to buy you a car with it. You won $15,000? What do you mean you asked to buy a car with it? I asked to buy you? When did you ask me? Well, I'm really confused on that one. Francis, I don't remember you ever asking me if you wanted me to buy you a car. Or you wanted to buy me a car. That's news to me. I must not have gotten that message. I must have not. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Come on, girl. All right. Yeah, I have a 26-year-old car. Heck yeah. No, seriously, I don't remember that. Francis, you'll have to explain that one. Or if you want it. Are you saying if you? Okay. I said, no, my bishop needs a car. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. In a Corvette? No. Honestly, I love, and I do, because they're great cars. I love Mercedes. They're just, I've never owned a Mercedes, but they're just really good, reliable cars that will go for years and years and years. But I actually like a specific kind. The new Mercedes, certainly it's not. They're beautiful. They're not. But I love like the 70s Mercedes with the big, beautiful grille. You know what I mean? There's just something special and unique about that. It's beautiful. They're beautiful. Or BMWs are nice as well. But like this car here, man, this is it's just something about the grille on these cars. It's just really nice and beautiful. I'll show you. These are classic. They're classic cars. There you go. I'll show you. See, look at that. Now that is a sweet. Of course, I don't really like the green color, but those are just. See, they're just something. It just, I don't. But no, I've got a 26-year-old car, so it's like, yeah, it still works. All right, listen to this. Tell me what you think about this. I don't know. I don't know about this one. This is by Ben Hooper as well. I'm troubled by this. I just don't like it. A registration is now open for a clothing optional 5-mile race in South Carolina. Anyway, a South Carolina resort says it already has recorded a record of 161 people signed up to run a 5-mile race with an unusual twist. It's clothing optional. The Carolina Foothills Resorts, a nudist resort in Spartanburg County, said that this year's Buck Creek Streak 5-mile already has a record high number of people registered for the June 14th race. It says you can go anywhere and do a 5-mile, but you can't go anywhere and run naked. Why? Tom Crowder, who sits on the resort's board of directors. If you go to the turkey trot and drop your doors, you're probably going to be arrested, you think? Anyway, this year's race offers an option to go the extra mile and run 7.3 in honor of race founder Mike Ward, who passed away at the age of 73. People who register for the 7.3 mile are also eligible to win the 5K, organizer said. I don't know. Maybe I'm too conservative. Organizers said first-time visitors to the resort must pass a background check before being allowed into resort grounds, and registration for newcomers is open until June the 13th, while returning visitors to the resort can register on the day of the 5-mile race. Registration includes a free lunch and a day pass to explore the clothing optional retreat. It's a great time, Crowder said. If it wasn't fun, we wouldn't have a record number of people signed up. It's an all-day event. It's just a good time. I don't get it. Chrissy said P. Diddy would love that. I will admit I'm a bit more conservative than maybe some people. I just don't understand that. I just don't. I don't get it. But nonetheless, the number is now down to 215. We were over 400 people on TikTok, and when I put subscriber chat on, because we weren't dealing with trolls, now we're down to 215 people. So the trolls are not happy that they can't chat anymore and say nasty things. Isn't that interesting? Because I guarantee you, with that article that I just read, they would be saying all kinds of disgusting, filthy things. Oh, poor trolls, poor babies. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I don't quite understand that. Okay. Yes, I am aware of the Annabelle doll. I'm aware of it. I fully am. I know it's going around and it's making its tour and things of this nature. Yep. I know. Here's just a couple of things that, first of all, I knew Lorraine. I was friends with Lorraine. I did not know Ed, but I did know Lorraine. And I don't think Lorraine would agree to this. No, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't. Because Lorraine had always said she never liked that doll. Lorraine never liked it. She didn't want to be around it, and she always believed it should be, kept locked up and away from people. So I just don't know. I know that if Lorraine were here, in my opinion, based on, my conversations I've had with her, I don't think she would feel that it would be a good idea. So, thank you very much. Thank you. I have not seen it. Do I think it's more malevolent? Here's the deal with Annabelle. So the question is, do I think that my doll, the doll that I have, is more malevolent? I can't validate any activity that have occurred with Annabelle. So, except for what Lorraine told me. I wasn't there. I didn't see any of these things. But here's what I can say. The doll that I have that the family gave me because their whole entire house burnt down to nothing. That by the way, that's in the show, the Eli Roth Legion of Exorcists show. I've seen the results of taking that doll out of the case, causing my laptop to actually catch fire. In the Louisville Mid-South Paranormal Conference, a room full of people saw it. So for me, even when I had it out the other day, when I was showing it, I took it out of its case and I showed it to everybody, and my StreamYard kept acting wonkers. It was acting crazy. I even took a video of it to show everybody. So here's what I can say about Annabelle the doll. It's a Raggedy Ann doll. I can't say because I've never been around it, so I don't know. Yeah, and the glass looks smoky. But I can say this. I also say some friends of mine, well, I met them at the West Virginia Paranormal Conference, and they actually did a FLIR camera. And they asked me if they could use it and document it. I said, absolutely. And they did this, and they sent me the video of it. And there is a massive heat signature. It was huge compared to the case itself. And then they moved the FLIR to the doll. I mean, it was just a massive jump. And he was just, thank you, Marty. He was stunned. And so he actually sent that to me. Yeah. So he actually sent that video to me. So anyway, sliding doors and power seats fully. Oh, I agree, Mark. Yeah, I agree. A minivan is, those are great. I love little minivans. You know, of course, it also depends on what the kind, because there are some minivans that are not good. They're pretty bad. So you got to be careful with type of minivan, because you can never go wrong with Toyota. You can never go wrong, I don't think, Honda. Those are really good. So hello, Grace. So yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, should I sprinkle holy water on my raggedy? No, Anna, no. I wouldn't go that far. I just wouldn't. But so here's it is. Go church rectory and priest housing. I've been looking. Oh, Mark, I would love that, but I can't afford. There's no way I could afford that. But listen to this, everybody. This is Lauren Acton Taylor. So this is what she writes. Annabelle doll sparks panic as she goes on tour despite paranormal experts saying she should never be moved. Oh, thank you very much, Marty. So as another Annabelle sequel is set to be released this year, the iconic haunted doll has been making its rounds across America, sending TikTokers into frenzy. The doll got the attention of millions of TikTok users after paranormal investigator and former host of Paranormal State, Ryan Buell. He had a really... Boy, I remember that situation with Ryan. Yeah, he struggled. Yeah, he went through some really tough times there. I think he's gotten his life back on track, which is great. The Devil on the Run tour takes items, including Annabelle, from the Warrens Occult Museum collection in Monroe across the country. I've been doing this for 25 years. Well, 20. I take these haunted items from people's homes, and I've been doing this for 20 years. I mean, nothing really different. Yet the infamous dolls movement have people online up in arms for the following warnings from the Warrens to never move Annabelle. That is true. Lorraine made it never to do this. The Warrens Occult Museum was curated by paranormal researcher Ed and Lorraine, who investigated the doll in 1970s following a haunted encounter. Thank you. Annabelle, a Raggedy Ann doll that stands upright, roughly 3 feet tall, was gifted to a Hartford nurse in 1970 who brought it home. But she and her roommate began reporting unexplained behavior from the doll, according to New England Society for Psychic Research. Annabelle reportedly moved on her own and at one point attacked the fiance of one of its owners. And that's when the Warrens stepped in to investigate. It says here, the couple claimed the doll was being manipulated by a spirit and performed an exorcism before taking the doll away with them. Annabelle then became one of the most well-known haunted items, following the Conjuring and Annabelle movie franchises. Now, as she tours the country with other items for the Warrens Museum, Buell has been following the doll and giving updates on her tour across the country. Buell posted a video discussing Annabelle's appearance at West Virginia State Penitentiary, as he recalled his own haunting experience at allegedly haunted site. Sorry. Oh, shut up. I didn't ask you anything. Siri, go away. Go sleep.
It looks like you haven't set up any smart home accessories. You can connect accessories like lights, locks.
Shut up. Siri, be quiet. See, they're always listening. Rude. Like a troll. I'm being trolled by her or it. Anyway, I don't want to say it. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, your BMW needs a lot of work. I couldn't afford, the amount of, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. But yeah, if it needs a lot of work, have I met John Zaffis? Yes, I'm friends with John Zaffis. I pretty much everybody in the paranormal I've met. I remember I've been doing this for over 25 years. So, all the OGs, I pretty much know. So anyway, she tours with country, and Buell explained that the doll was slowly being transported to San Antonio, Texas for the Psychic Festival. I think this is the furthest she should travel in decades, if not ever. So we'll see how tonight goes. He added that she would be secure with members of NESPR, and they would have a Catholic priest with them. Anyway, Buell then shared videos of the doll in the penitentiary, infuriating users online who echoed the Warren's warning not to move her. Lorraine said, and that she did. Lorraine said not to move her. Another said, Tony should be ashamed of himself because I know he's a part of it. And Lorraine said, no matter what happens to them, Annabelle does not leave the museum. Lorraine and Ed rolling over in their graves right now. Another person said, Buell, however, addressed the video in comments claiming that the couple traveled with Annabelle on tour to teach the public about the items in the occult. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Here's the deal. I don't necessarily, look, I've gone to paranormal conferences for 25 years now, and I have these items that I remove from people's homes. And people say, well, why? Because I'm an educator. I teach. And when I talk about an item, like, for example, a doll, you have to use your imagination to figure out what it is that I'm talking about. But if I have it here, then you can see it. And there are many people are visual learners. So they can learn by visually. They have to see it. They have to be in the presence of it. So when I bring them out and I show them to people, then they're like, okay, now I got actually visual. It's important that I teach people about this stuff because there are a lot of people collecting these items, and they're very dangerous. And so they should not be. Now, Lorraine was 1,000,000% that the Annabelle should not be taken out of its case. Now, I agree with that. They should leave it in its case. But it's also, people understand that when you go around these things, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. So, I mean, I do it for educational purposes, to teach people about it and to stop collecting them. It's not a good idea to collect these things. It really is not. Remember, friends, when you buy something off the internet and they say that this is an alleged haunted item, there's a lot of people who are buying these items and they have no idea the history. They don't know the history of these items. People can place curses. And sometimes there are some people that are convinced that they have purchased items where people purposely placed a curse on this item in hopes that maybe that you would actually get activity in your home so that they get a 5-star rating. I would encourage people to just stay away from these things. Really, just stay away from them. Yep. Dybbuk boxes. No, Zach does not own Annabelle. So, the Annabelle went to Zach's museum. But no, that's, unfortunately, no, Zach does not own that. A Dybbuk box, there's a belief that, it contains a Dybbuk, which is an evil demonic spirit. However, Dybbuk boxes, technically, they're wine boxes. That's what they really are. I have one. And so they're wine boxes. And so it really became very popular with the movie. I think the movie was called Dybbuk, I think. And so here's what happens. A lot of people buy these things, and then violent activity occurs in their home, and they contact me and say, what do you want me to do with them? Well, I want you need to give them back to me. You need to give them to me. And then I need to teach you how to bless your home. I've seen Robert the Doll. No, Victoria, I've had my migraines long before I even had this doll. So, but anyway, yeah, it should not be taken out at all. It should be left alone. I wouldn't, again, just stay away from these things. Right. That's right. The original Dybbuk box, it was a fraud. Yeah, that was all a lie. So technically a Dybbuk box it's a wine box. Really, it's all it is. Right. You have to ask Robert permission to take it up, take his picture. Yeah. I do feel, yes, Anna. Yep. So you guys got to stay away from these things. You got to stay away from them. There's nothing good. There's nothing good that's going to come from owning them. Nothing. I promise you. And I have these things locked up. And when I have them here to show you guys, so I don't have anything here because I'll make sure don't know. I always, put them right back to my storage. So, all right there, listen to this. I don't know what do you guys think about this one? This is interesting. I don't know if you saw this, but TK Randall writes, there's a 1,000-foot UFO photo shown at a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon hearing, has already been debunked. So, excellent. Hold on, everybody. Listen to this article. So if you saw this was really going around everywhere. It's an interesting picture. I'll take it for you because it's easier for me just to take the picture and show it to you. This was going around. This was being circulated all over social media. There it is. See that? I mean, it was really, really all over social media. And at the recent congressional hearing, Luis Elizondo presented a photograph of an alleged 1,000-foot UFO. Now, last week's Understanding UAP hearing, which featured talks by several prominent scientists, UFO researchers, and intelligence community personnel, was aimed at briefing members of Congress about the UFO phenomena and its implications. But during the event, Luis Elizondo, who was once a director of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, presented a photograph showing what he alleged to be a UFO measuring 1,000 foot across what had been captured on camera by a commercial airline pilot. It had been already reportedly snapped from an altitude of 21,000 feet over the Four Corner landmark, which joins part of New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. Captured near Four Corners of FL-20, estimated 600 to 1,000 feet in a diameter, silver-hued disc shape. Well, anyway, while at a glance, the image looks quite convincing, it didn't take internet sleuths long to determine the photograph doesn't actually show a large hovering disc at all. Instead, the disc and its shadow are, in fact, two circular fields situated next to one another. You can even find the exact spot on Google Maps. So the original image would have been taken from a different altitude or angle, but this is the same location. So this is what they are claiming that these are. I'll show you. It is interesting, though, but I wanted to kind of debunk this. So this is what they saw. Yeah. That's what they saw. And they thought that was a disc, and obviously that was its shadow. All right. That was the one in question. However, they have since debunked that. And that, my dear friends, is the actual what you're seeing. So really what you see is clearly as it says here, it was debunked, and maybe that explains this, because it's not a shadow. There's two circular fields situated next to one another. But it is an optical illusion. It certainly does look like, when you see it, it's like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But no, my friends, that has been officially debunked. And there we go. Okay. Yeah, an optical illusion, which I could understand if you look at that, but it certainly is impressive. All right. Right. Listen to this one. This is by TK Randall as well. I'm surprised at this. Now, this, when I read this, I thought, there's no way. There's no way. Jerry Freeman, the man who snuck in to Area 51 and lived to tell the tale. I did. The TikTok with heads transplant. I did. Yeah. There's an organization that really is legitimately trying to do this. So back in 1996, Freeman had ventured within the perimeter of the top secret base at Groom Lake, Nevada. Anyone foolhardily enough to venture close to the main gates and perimeter fence of Area 51, secretive, by the way, U.S. Air Force facility, has become synonymous with tales of captured UFOs. Reverse-engineered alien technology will typically be met with signposts warning potential trespassers that deadly force is authorized, while armed guards watch from unmarked vehicles nearby. But in 1996, Jerry Freeman, a California anthropologist who had been seeking to follow the route of the 1849 pioneers who had headed west in search of gold, managed to make his way beyond the base's perimeter and into the restricted area and beyond. Upon approaching Papoose Lake, south of Groom Lake, he recalled witnessing strange bluish lights that seemed to open up like a portal out of thin air before closing and disappearing again without a trace. Says it looked like a dry lake before a bed to me and nothing else, but at night it was a different story. He told UFO researchers and journalist George Knapp near the time. Says I could clearly see what was security lights on the perimeter, and I could see lights that opened and closed near the center of the lake. Thank you. And Freeman also felt peculiar vibrations in the ground as though something was being tested nearby. He said it's something that they're testing either directly underground, or I was feeling vibrations completely from Groom Lake. I don't know, he said. Freeman ultimately made it out of the base again without being caught, but sadly passed away 5 years later in 2001, taking any undisclosed details of exactly what he witnessed there to his grave. Friends, I strongly encourage you, if you think about going to this area, you might not want to even go close to the perimeter. Thank you very much, because they don't play around there. They are pretty serious with their threats. These are not idle threats. That's people. Matter of fact, there was one time some insanity. I think it was a couple years ago. People were talking about storming Area 51. Do you remember that? Yeah, that would have been a very stupid decision. Thankfully, I don't think they did it. But astral travel to Area 51. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I want to do a presentation on astral traveling, but it's hard for me to find an expert in the field. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's hard to find an expert in the field who's willing to just be on the show without asking for $1 million. You know, it's like, okay, I know everybody, you've got to pay bills, but good grief. I mean, people just always want to be, paid so much money. And I'm like, look, I don't even get paid for this. So, but thank you. Thank you very much, Dog Norm. So I would like to find someone who can do astral projection, who is legit, who is trained, legit. Not people who, I did it one time. Me and Martha were in the back seat of the car. No. So, well, thank you. Very nice. All right. Now, this is interesting, and I don't know why this is such a world news, but it is. Sure. There's nothing wrong with crystals. There's nothing wrong with crystals at all. I mean, God made the crystals. Well, the issue is when people put faith in crystals and not in Christ. That's the problem. This is interesting. This is by Joshua Nair. Listen to this, everybody. A leading U.S. scientist who studied millions of near-death experiences says there is proof of the afterlife. Well, I've always known this, and most of you always known this, but or an expert in this Philadelphia project, yeah, that would be an expert, not somebody who watched. Oh, I watched the YouTube video, and no. An expert. See, when I bring a guest on, I want somebody who is a legitimate expert in this. I could easily find John Doe over there who watched the YouTube video and talks about. No, I'm not interested in that because there's no credibility in that. Thank you, Marty. So, a top scientist who has an abundance of experience in studying near-death situation has made a bold claim that he has proof of an afterlife. Argument has raged in the medical community over the likelihood of this being a possibility, but it looks like that we may have some proof. So it's a game changer in the science world if he's proved right. But Dr. Sam Parnia, a well-known associate professor of medicine at New York University Langone's Medical Center, has recalled previous situations that back his claim up. The British professor claimed that patients who are resuscitated after the heart stops frequently end up living through every single moment of their lives all over again. Dr. Parnia claims that this remarkable phenomenon happens in different perspectives as well. Now, these claims have fascinated experts for decades, and it is said that it only happens to those who are clinically dead, which is when blood circulation and breathing stops. It may seem far-fetched, but the NYU University has gone through 30 years of research that spans across millions of patients, so he might know a thing or two about the project. Speaking to Times Radio in September last year, he revealed that many millions of people all over the world have gone through the early state of death before coming back to life. I'm included. Oh, very cool, Francis. Incredibly, patients consistently report that even though from the outside perspective, there looks like there is no consciousness and they're supposed to be dead. Internally, they go through a new experience, he revealed. Dr. Parnia explained they feel that their own consciousness, their selfhood, becomes suddenly vast and becomes more lucid and even more sharp. They're able to gather information about what's happening to them as doctors and nurses are trying to revive them. Because however they are seeing things almost in 360 degrees, they conclude that it looks like I'm dead, and they live through every moment of their lives, including interactions with others from their perspectives and other people's as well. This is interesting. Honestly, I've been talking about near-death experiences for quite some time. And if you can go to nderf.org, and I actually interviewed Dr. Jeffrey Long many times, who is a leading expert on near-death experiences. And he is absolutely convinced, 100%, that near-death experience is legitimate, and we absolutely know that there is something in the afterlife. And I agree, only because I experienced it too. When I saw my mom, who had passed away a year before. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this here because we've already talked about this. Marian apparitions, I think some of them are absolutely, I think some of them are legitimate because there have been miracles that have been associated with this. And I'm kind of, I agree with this. I think there's something there. That's my opinion. I mean, because I didn't go through I didn't go through life events, but I absolutely saw my mom. 100%. 100%. And there's a 0%. You can't dream. There's no such thing. Dreaming doesn't exist. It's a zero. That's science. Everybody wants science, science, science. Well, it's science. There's no such thing as dreaming under propofol. And after I came back, when I was from the operating room to the recovery room, I apparently was screaming, I saw mom. Okay. Monroe Institute. All right. Ari is talking about Monroe Institute. It's interesting. For those who don't know about the Monroe Institute, it's a pioneer, I think, in exploration of human consciousness. I believe it was founded in 1974 by, I think, Robert Monroe. He was a businessman. He was an author. He became known for his research into like altered states of consciousness, particularly through the use of binaural beats and audio technologies. So the institute itself offers programs and courses designed to help individuals explore, expand their consciousness, enhance personal growth and development, improve basically overall well-being. So like they have guided meditation, sound technologies, mindfulness practices, to help individuals. So relaxation techniques, self-discovery. There's a lot of people who like the Monroe technique. So was it 1971? I thought it was 1974. I thought the Monroe Institute was in 1974. But someone checked me on that, but I thought it was 74. So anyway, subconscious mind. Oh, absolutely. I believe in the subconscious mind. No, there's no question. I mean, we know this certainly through the advertising, subliminal messages, especially in advertising. I mean, do you know that many people, 1974, there are many people, organizations, companies that actually hire psychiatrists that deal in subliminal messages. And so it's, well, Ari's saying 71 and Tammy's saying 74. I thought it was 74, but nonetheless, it was in the 70s. All right. Yeah. Now, this is an interesting, for those of you who like alien abduction cases, then you might like this. You might like these, perhaps. So Netflix documentary, they have a documentary out there to investigate the greatest alien abduction cases. TK Randall writes this: an upcoming Netflix documentary will delve into the case of a woman who was abducted. Actually, it's out. I believe it's out now. In New York in 1980s. The strangeness began back in November the 30th, 1989, when Linda Napolitano, a mother of two who lived in Manhattan at the time, claimed to have been visited by a gray biped that had appeared in her bedroom in the early hours of the morning. She then claimed that she had been levitated out of her window by a blue beam of light. So what makes the case particularly intriguing are the testimonies of multiple alleged witnesses, and some of whom even claimed to have seen her hanging out of the window. Anyway, the mystery described as the greatest alien abduction case ever recorded is the subject. I believe it's out there now. On the Netflix documentary, it's called The Manhattan Alien Abduction. So it's pretty interesting. Investigators look closer at the case, interview witnesses, and attempt to piece together whether Napolitano really was abducted that night or if there could be an alternative explanation. It is out there. Let me see if it's still on there, because I know it was in there in November. So let me check real quick. And it is interesting. Let me check right now. The Manhattan Alien Abduction. Oh, maybe it's not in there. No, I don't see it. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. There it is, everybody. So the Manhattan Alien Abduction. It is in there. I'm going to have to put this on my checklist, because looks like there's only 3 episodes. I'm going to see what this is about. Oh, her brother was abducted too? Wow. Yeah, we'll have to check this out. I'll have to watch that and give you a report on it and let you know if I thought it was kind of like bleh or interesting. Yep, it's on Netflix. And I am trying, I think Mr. Producer had a gentleman that's going to be on with us next week, next Friday on our paranormal show. Um, I think he's an astrologer. And I also think he does some studies on UFO abductions. So I think so. TK Randall writes this too. A BBC's, for those of you who like UFO of God, that's interesting. I might check that out. For those of you who haven't heard about this, well, BBC's Paranormal explores the case of Britain's last witch. Sense of good or bad, altered sense. I think they can just naturally pick up on it. But this is interesting. If you have not heard about this, journalist Cian Ellery returns to a third series, this time to investigate the case of Scottish medium Helen Duncan. So Duncan, who was born in Callander, Scotland on November 25th, 1897, maintains the dubious distinction of being the last person to be imprisoned under the 1735 Witchcraft Act. A practicing medium who would often participate in seances, Duncan was said to have communicated with the spirits of the dead and often produced physical manifestation made of what's called ectoplasm. So in one case during World War II, she claimed to have contacted the spirit of a sailor who had died aboard the HMS Barham. It later transpired that this particular ship had indeed sunk, but that the news had been kept secret as part of an effort to mislead the Germans. And once the word got around, Duncan became even more in demand than ever. Well, that said, there was growing concern among the authorities that her methods were fraudulent. So this came to a head in 1944 when she was arrested following a police raid of a seance she was attending. She was imprisoned for several months on the basis that she became falsely claiming that she had produced spirits, which was considered a crime under the Witchcraft Act of 1735. And it wasn't long afterward that the act itself was repealed by the government. And in 1956, she was arrested again following yet another raid on a seance. And although she was not charged, she died at her home not long afterward. Some speculated that she had been unalived by the impact of ectoplasm snapping back into her body when the light was unexpectedly turned on during the seance. Though in reality, she had suffered from several health problems that likely contributed to her death. I think that's probably so. Anyway, it's called the show is called Paranormal: Britain's Last Witch. It is available to stream now on BBC iPlayer. Oh, well, thank you very much, Mark. Thank you. So there it is. The whole witchcraft, the story of the witchcraft and the Salem witch trials, it absolutely fascinates me because, these are people that actually lived. And I don't know. It's sad to see so many people who are unalived, by claiming to be accused of being a witch. You need to use a VPN. I do. As a matter of fact, I have a VPN right there. What you guys are watching. Okay. EVP session. Yeah. So EVP stands for electronic voice phenomenon. And EVPs is when you have a digital recorder. Like, for example, this is a very good recorder. The Zoom. It's really good it picks up some amazing sound. Also, there's another one. If I don't knock everything down to show you. Hopefully I don't. This one's also very good. So that's a really great recorder for EVP. So basically, you just ask questions, and then you play it back and you get responses. However, if you're working demonic cases, you got to be very careful, because sometimes these you might capture some EVPs that are very aggressive. Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard capture growls. No, I don't like. I mean, cassette tapes. The reason is because a lot of people, not me, a lot of people like cassette tapes, is because you can't really fake that. I had a cassette tape of the angel singing in Israel. Yeah, I know. I don't. You shouldn't investigate your home because you have already an emotional attachment to it. So you got to be very, very careful, because if you're not, and if it is demonic, then that could be a problem for you. But listen to this. This is interesting. TK Randall writes this: a shocking CIA file details a case of a UFO. Listen, that turned a Russian soldiers to stone. Now, again, a CIA, they have a file of this. I'm trying to see if I have let me see if I have that other recorder. Hold on. Let me see. One sec. Oh, gosh. I don't have it. No. No, I was hoping I'd have it. It must be in the other room. There's another recorder that I really, really like. It's an Olympus, but I don't have it with me. So anyway, but listen to this. The remarkable case file concerns a close encounter in Siberia that allegedly resulted in the deaths of several soldiers. The CIA online classified files archive can be a strange place. If you dig deep enough, you can find references to everything from psychic spy programs to encounters with hostile extraterrestrial entities. One document in particular, however, might just take the cake. A one-page file, this is true, a one-page file that contains a summary of a 250-page KGB report on an attack by a UFO in Siberia back in the 1980s. According to the file, the incident began when a saucer-shaped, low-flying spaceship appeared without warning above a military unit that had been conducting routine training maneuvers. Someone in the unit then unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile at the object, causing it to fall from the sky and crash somewhere a short distance away. Well, and this is where things get really weird. According to testimonies of two soldiers who had been there, 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from the debris of the field of the craft. And after freeing themselves, the aliens came close together and then merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape. Anyway, the object began to buzz and hiss sharply and then became brilliant white. In a few seconds, the spheres grew much bigger and exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who had been watching the phenomenon turned into stone poles. According to the report, the KGB retrieved the UFO debris and the petrified soldiers and took them to a secretive research institution near Moscow for analysis. Specialists assume that a source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organisms, having transformed it into a substance whose molecular composition is no different from that of limestone. The report states, thank you, Anna, says we're not making this up. You can actually read the CIA's own website. And the CIA representative who actually wrote up the report described it as, quote, an extremely menacing case. Well, that's a little odd. I mean, that is just, oh. So, what do you think about that, boys and girls? That is talking about cray cray. Yep. All right, we'll try to turn the chat on, everybody. We'll see how long that'll go on TikTok. Just be nice, just be kind, and we'll chat. We'll turn the chat on for everybody. Okay, just be nice. Just be nice. Just be nice. All right. Yeah. That is kind of crazy though. Now, if you have young children, you probably need to be very, very careful giving them your phone. Yep, this is a church. This is a church community, and we. This is our Sunday. I'm sorry. This is Saturday open mic night, where we just chill. This is a chill out, relaxing Saturday night where we just chill. Do I believe it's true? I don't know. The fact that the CIA has this, I mean, it would be very, very difficult to validate this because it's KGB. So, it's sad. Okay. Well, welcome, Kat. Welcome. Ben Hooper writes this. A boy playing with mom's phone orders something that he shouldn't have. So you might want to be careful about this. A Kentucky woman said her young son was playing with her phone during the weekend and secretly placed an order on Amazon for 70,000 Dum Dum lollipops. A purchase of about $4,200. No, peaceful. Lexington resident Holly LaFar said on social media that she was shocked to discover 30 cases of Dum Dums on her doorstep, each containing 2,340 pieces of candy. Anyway, LaFavor's son, Liam, who was in second grade, admitted that he had placed an order for suckers while playing with her phone during the weekend. Well, each case of Dum Dum retails for $130, making Liam's total purchase of about $4,200. Amazon initially agreed to allow LaFavors to return 8 of the 30 cases. So she started attempting to sell others to friends and neighbors. She later said in an update that, quote, after a long day of working with the bank and talking to a few news stations, Amazon contacted and agreed to refund the entire purchase. Thank you. Says, thank you to everyone that offered to buy a box to help us. She wrote, I will be happy to get what you ordered and donate them to charity of your choice. Oh my goodness. I would have $4,200 for popsicle or whatever that I would just like, oh, you got to be kidding. You got your lollipops. Man. Yeah. Yeah. The epiphany of the doors. Yeah. I can, maybe one day I'll walk people through that. It's really, it's not much. It's really not. If you can go online, there's a lot of tutorials on how to do the epiphany of the doors. It's called epiphany of the doors, chalking of the doors, blessing of the doors. But yeah, there's a lot. So you can even go on YouTube and look on tutorials. There's there's quite a few. It's really, honestly, it's a pretty, I think it's straightforward. And it's a powerful, beautiful prayer. Now, guys, one thing that no question, animals are getting smarter. Ben Hooper writes this: a bear opens unlocked vehicle door and roots around for food. If you are pray to idols, no, we don't have idols. Idol worship is against obviously Christianity. Well, listen to this. A home security camera in Colorado captured the moment a bear opened the door to a parked car and climbed inside to root around for food. I mean, if you're in Colorado, you definitely should need to have your doors locked. I mean, look, or any place, even in Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge. The video recorded outside a home's garage on the northeast side of Breckenridge shows the bear wandered up to the parked car and used its paw to open the unlocked passenger side front door. Anyway, the extent of the damage to the vehicle's interior was not clear. The town of Breckenridge Police Department issued a warning in late April that bear activity was on the rise in the area. Says, quote, "Don't get caught off guard. Spring will be here before you know it, and so will the bears," the department said on social media. "Please have your trash cans secured. Keep your vehicle doors locked." Thank you. It is true. I mean, I am seeing a lot of these videos. These bears are getting smarter, and people just leave. You know, they don't think a bear's going to open the door, but bears are not stupid. They are actually, they do this. Yes, Martin, I've played it many times before. Yeah, it's so if you're in that area, be really, really careful, because make sure your doors are locked. Make sure your doors are locked. If not, I tell you what, that could be a problem, because there was one bear that actually went inside. I read this one article and just completely, no, they do it with their claws. Yeah, but they're smart enough to be able to figure it out, and they open the door. But there was one bear that when I read an article, I mean, just completely destroyed the interior of the car. I mean, ripped everything apart. And the problem is you can't go to your insurance and say, "Oh, by the way, a bear did it." So, yeah, John, that was interesting. What was the story of the Teddy Ruxpin bear that you have that turned on without the batteries? Yeah. So we had the Teddy Ruxpin. So a father, they just recently had well, I don't know, maybe a 3-year-old child or something like that. I can't remember, 2 or 3. And he bought a Teddy Ruxpin. And, it was, I think he bought it used because at one time they were very expensive. And he really didn't think anything of it. He put it in the crib with a toddler, and they went to sleep, and he heard this Teddy Ruxpin, or he heard noise going off. He was kind of groggy, obviously, this way he described it to me. And so he realized it was music or something playing, and he went to the toddler's room, and it was the Teddy Ruxpin playing. And so he didn't really think anything of it until he after he kind of woke up a little bit, and he picked up the Teddy Ruxpin because he didn't remember putting batteries in it. And he turned it around and opened the back, and there were no batteries. And he was like, no. That really freaked him out. He was like, "We're not having this." He didn't like that. And so he contacted me, and he said, "Look, I want this out. I don't want this in my home." I mean, I'm not really thinking, anything major. So I said, "Okay, fine." So I took it and I did a live, and I held it up and I told the story and showed everybody the back of it. There were no batteries in it. Turned it around. And I was explaining the story about how it just started talking, and he just started talking, and it was live. It was live on TikTok. So I still have that. I mean, they never talked about any violent activity in their home. Nothing at all. Yep, I do, Ben. Yeah. But he didn't he didn't say there was it wasn't violent. He didn't say it was violent or anything like that. He just said it just made him uncomfortable because it was around child. Your first mass, just be in the moment. Just take it all in. Don't try to figure all this symbol, because there's a lot of symbols, and just be in the moment. It's a beautiful. I have not. No, Mark, I have not. Worship Mary? Absolutely not. No. As a matter of fact, anybody who worships Mary has never read Roman canon law. I mean, even the catechism in the Roman Catholic Church, it makes it abundantly clear that Mary is not a co-redemptress. She cannot save you. She cannot forgive your sins. And canon law is very clear that worshiping Mary is idolatry. And anybody who worships Mary is, they are really messing up. So no, there's a lot of people who think, "Oh, Catholics worship Mary." No, we do not. No, we do not. That is incorrect. And that's an attack on Catholics. And really, people should learn first before attacking people. Because actually, if you're a Catholic, then you would know what the catechism says. And the catechism is quite clear. You are not to worship her. Well, intercessory prayers is what we do. In the same way you ask me to pray for you, we ask Mary to pray for us. That's it. We don't worship her. We can't worship her. She is not God. And she cannot forgive sins. Hello, Anthony. Canada. Well, Lena, I mean, there's people who actually light candles for their loved ones. So I know plenty of people. They're called. Thank you. They're called votive candles, and many people do that as a way of respect and honor and remembrance. That's it. I know quite a few people who have votive candles, and who as a way to remember and honor our loved ones who've passed on. Right now, Alex is just on a hiatus. Right now there was a strike, a writer strike, and it really put everything. And also, there have been a lot of changes behind the scenes as far as the Discovery and or Travel Channel and HBO Max. There's been a lot of changes as far as their paranormal. But listen, this is interesting. TK Randall writes this as well. This is very, very interesting. And I kind of agree with this. And he says, we all emit a glow that vanishes when we pass away. A new study finds. Oh, wonderful, 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 Keith. Listen up, everybody. Researchers have discovered that all living things emit a distinctive glow due to a little-known phenomenon. Spiritualists have long claimed to be able to sense or even see an aura around living things, and now it appears they have been maybe all right all along. Although the explanation is different. Well, thank you there, Alex. Thank you. So the new study, which was conducted by the way, scientists at the University of Calgary in Canada, discovered that photons emitted by chemical processes within the body produce a tiny amount of light. The existence of such a phenomenon had been disputed for years, but now researchers have been able to capture direct evidence of using ultra-sensitive cameras. To achieve this, they photographed mice in the dark with an hour-long exposure. This really shows that this is not just an imperfection or caused by other biological processes. Lead author Dr. Daniel Oblak told New Scientist, quote, it's really something that comes from all living things. The fact that ultra-weak proton emission is a real thing is undeniable at this point. This is science. Everybody loves science. So the researchers also recorded the same phenomena in leaves, even after they were cut off from the tree. They also found that the glow was brighter when damage activated the plant's repair system. Well, that's interesting. In mice, however, once the animal had passed, the glow stopped. This shows in a very clear way that UPE is associated with being alive, said Dr. Oblak. That's pretty cool. That actually is really interesting. And many people would argue, would that be our soul? Would that be our, yeah, I mean, it's, and the fact that they have this capture too. So it's pretty interesting. Thank you, Marty. So, yeah. So here is the deal with Saturday show. Well, thank you, guys. Saturday show, we used to have Miss Wilma on, and then Judy Ann, and we would tell stories and back and forth, and then we'd bring the moderators on, and we would talk. But really, we're trying to rethink and rebrand the Saturday show. The Saturday show was always branded as open mic. But I just don't know what Saturday show needs to be. Perhaps maybe is it a continuation for like Friday show? Because many times, see, the Friday show is a paranormal show. And I don't get to not even, maybe 10% of the paranormal. Now hold on. Let's because this is, we have to be fair. Monday through Friday, we have night prayer, and we talk theology, we talk scripture, we talk God Monday through Friday. Sundays and Wednesdays, we even have Bible study for a couple hours. So we talk theology, we talk the Bible, we talk God. We absolutely speak about God and scripture a lot on this platform, a lot. The only day that is associated with the paranormal is Friday. That's it. So I'm just kind of wondering maybe if Saturday, should we, I don't know. We don't know, because obviously things are going to change, because Wilma she's just not going to be coming back. So I need your thoughts on a Saturday show. Yeah, but see the open mic, I appreciate, but what does that mean? Open mic to do what? To do what we did today? To bring people on? I just don't know. So, well, thank you there, Alex. Thanks, Tracy. So I don't know. I need, I would like your input on this. Human cards. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that in a moment. We do. A little bit. I've been teaching about that Friday, every Friday. Yeah, we teach a lot about demonology, and so I was able to see Miss Wilma today, and so goodness Q. So I would like to know, what your guys' theology Saturday. Well, we do theology on Sundays. We do theology on Sundays, Wednesdays, Monday through Friday. That's all theology. So I don't know. Absolutely, yeah. Polish Prince, yeah. Ben, remember, Scripture talks about ghosts. People always say that Scripture says ghosts don't exist. No, it doesn't. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. And I think sometimes people forget that. So I don't know where people get this idea that Scripture says that, because that's not true. Because I've talked about that a whole lot. So I don't quite not sure why people always think that. Right. Well, yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, because remember, remember Jesus as a ghost. In Matthew chapter 14, verse 26, Jesus walks on water. And it says, when the disciples saw him on the sea, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said. They cried out in fear. It did not say demon. People say, well, they meant demon. Nope, that's not what it says. Demon and ghost are two completely different spelled words. Completely different words. Then when Jesus in Luke chapter 24, verse 36 through 51, after Jesus appeared to them when he was crucified, and it says here, they were frightened and terrified because they thought they were seeing a ghost. And Jesus said, give me something to eat. Ghosts don't have flesh and blood, as you see that I do. So it's very clear that the disciples had the concept of what ghosts were. And Jesus did not say, don't be stupid, ghosts don't exist. That's not what he said. Actually, he made a clarified statement. Give me something to eat. Ghosts don't have flesh as bones, as you see that I have. So yes, I believe ghosts are exist. They do. They are, because I don't believe heaven is forced upon us. Free will has to exist in heaven, because Lucifer and a third of the angels freely chose to reject God while in heaven. So therefore, we know that free will must exist. And if free will exists in heaven, then heaven cannot be forced upon us. I think heaven is presented to us. Well, thank you there, Alex. And for whatever reason, if people choose not to go, I don't know. But the question is, does heaven exist outside of time and space? So we often think of heaven over there, like in a restraint time and space, and it's not. So who's to say that our loved ones can be here with us and in heaven at the same time? Thank you, Tracy and Anna. Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, River Master, I'm glad that you're here. I'm sorry that you're having some difficult times. Holy Ghost, yeah. So, yeah, tornadoes have been bad. Okay, for those of you listening to this on Spreaker, or not Spreaker, well, yeah, on podcast, we're going to say goodnight to you guys. We're going to wrap this up for them, at least for them. And then we do have this, by the way, this is all on podcast. No, we don't have any tornadoes anymore. Not tonight, thank God. because it was pretty rough. It was really rough. Absolutely, Ben. So yeah, it was scary stuff. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll find a guest. I don't know. Well, thank you, Mr. Medic. I don't know. I want to do something different, something unique. Maybe a continuation for Friday, for the Saturday show. Oh, thank you there, Karen. We'll see. But I'm also curious about what the moderators think too. Do I think we're in Revelation? Well, thank you. Every single day that goes by, we get closer and closer, I think, to the second coming. So I do. Annabelle doll, Lorraine would not. She certainly wouldn't accept. She wouldn't want this doll to be. I'm not too far from London. Well, she would not want Annabelle to be taken out of the case at all. That I do know. Okay. Well, I believe in a form, Rick. I did a little bit. I actually taught Revelation for 3 years in a row, and I took 6 months to actually to teach it. You can actually go back on go to Bible study and go start back last year, February the 14th. And for 6 months, every Sunday and Wednesday, I broke everything down, everything. But guys, I've been here since 8 o'clock. I've got a lot of homilies that I've still got to work on for this week. I got 27 homilies. So I'm sure you guys understand. For those of you who are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Rumble, please don't forget, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be on TikTok for Mass. 6 p.m. Eastern, everyone's invited. We would love for you to join us. And then 8 p.m. tomorrow is Bible study. So for those of you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and remember, I tell you all the time, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless. Don't let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Good night.